Hi everybody and welcome. My name is Rin Longmaid. I'm a restaurant broker and consultant at Santa Rosa Business and Commercial, and I'm the founder and host of this series, Deep Dish Live, where we explore the business of restaurants for restaurateurs, restaurant buyers and sellers, and the restaurant curious. Welcome to episode 11, where we're live streaming from Más Masa in downtown Fairfax. In a little bit, I'll introduce you to the owner and my friend, Patrick Sheehy. But before then, let's see, what do I want to do? Let me introduce my support staff today. Joining me remotely is Holly Hansen. She's the principal of Holly Hansen Public Relations. She'll be posting pertinent information to the feed. Hi, Holly. Behind the camera, I've got Ed Troxel. Ed Troxel is a live media consultant. He helped me launch this series. He's with me every time I live feed. Hi, Ed.
Hey.
Find him online. We'll post information about him. If you're looking to do something like this, he's your guy. Let's see. Deep Dish is a series. We stream once monthly, and we come to you from one of your favorite Bay Area restaurants. Come to you live. Every time that we come to you, we offer a gift certificate. So last month we were at Downtown Bakery and Creamery in Healdsburg. So I'll be announcing the winner of that gift card. And today, if you'd like to qualify to win the gift card from Más Masa here in downtown Fairfax, all you have to do is like and post a comment on this episode. You can do it now while we're in the live feed, or you can do it anytime between now and episode 11, where we'll be live streaming we'll be up in Healdsburg at the Parish Cafe. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my friend, Patrick. Patrick. He's the founding owner of Más Masa. Hi.
Hello. Hi, Rin.
Patrick and I know each other from multiple ways, which I'll talk about in a minute, but tell us a little bit about Más Masa. You were founded in 2017.
2016.
2016.
Yeah, November 2016. And then, so we're almost at 5 years.
Okay.
And I can't believe how fast 5 years goes by.
Yes, especially with all that you've been doing, but we'll talk about that. So tell us a little bit about the restaurant, about the services, give us a tour.
So it's a small restaurant. There's really not much of a tour. If you go around the corner about 10 feet, that's the end of the restaurant. So it's compact and efficient. We just have a very open kitchen. There's the line where we make all the food. It's counter service, so you can order right here at the register. We give you a number with a cool little image of corn on it, because corn is very integral to our concept. And you can sit along the counter. There's a few tables inside, and we have an outdoor patio. We're right here in downtown Fairfax. That's Bolinas Road. That's the famous repack bench, where anyone who's a hardcore mountain biker knows the importance of that. And then we have our beautiful outdoor patio.
We'll go out there in 1 second. Okay. One of the things that distinguishes Más Masa from other restaurants is that they mill the flour on site and produce the tortillas by hand at order. And at the end of the series today, Patrick they're going to show us how it's made. So that's wonderful. And right now we're going to go out and look at the outside seating, and we'll finish the episode out there. Want to take us out?
Yeah.
So this has been great during COVID to have the outside seating.
Yeah, we built this auxiliary deck off to the side in March, about 6 months ago. Because when we reopened in March, you couldn't even sit inside. But this has been here since day one. We beautified it a little bit with the plants, added the lights, created the atmosphere. And I don't think anyone's ever eaten on our patio and not been amazed by it. So.
Gorgeous. Between the food and the ambiance, it's an amazing place. So I want to say two things about Patrick. First, Patrick and I met at the Culinary Institute of America. I was an instructor and he was going through the program. That's where we met. And now we have another relationship because Más Masa has been listed for sale. Patrick and his new wife, you guys got married last year or this year?
A month ago.
And they're expecting. I don't want the restaurant included in our new family. So you can reach out to me directly, either through Facebook or my website or any of my listings, and you'll see that Más Masa is available. But it's going to go fast. We already have an interested buyer. So Patrick, I'm going to run that episode, and we'll come back in, and you can give us a cooking demo.
It'll be tortilla time.
Tortilla time. Okay, see you in a minute. So come over here, Ed. We'll sit down. So today I'm going to be talking about liquor licenses. And I always say, in the title I put an exclamation point and a question mark. Liquor licenses, what's the deal? Question mark, exclamation point. And the reason I say that is because, gosh, it's a very important component of owning a restaurant or a bar or a cafe. And it's quite frankly, it's a little confusing. So one thing I want to say is that, this episode, it streams live from Facebook. That's where it originates. And then it has a home in multiple places. It will live on Facebook. Sometimes we'll post it to LinkedIn. We now have a YouTube channel, so the library is there. So you'll hear us, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to hear me say, like a comment and post, and that's more for my Facebook listeners. But if you are on YouTube and you like the series, the thing that you could do to show me your appreciation is to subscribe to my channel. And what is that little bell? Hit the bell. I don't know why, but hit that bell. So regarding liquor licenses, depending on the state with which you operate, liquor licenses differ. So I operate in the state of California, and it's the Department of Alcohol and Beverage Control. We call it the ABC. That's our prevailing agency. So in this episode today, you're going to hear me talking a lot about California and the ABC. But no matter where you operate, alcohol licenses, they're initially mandated at the federal level, then the state puts their mandates and legislation on it, and then local level, the county and the municipality with which you operate, they're going to have restrictions, maybe other permits and licenses that are needed depending on what type of license you're operating with. So there'll be pertinent information in here, but if you're operating in another state, it will vary. The information will vary. I also want to start this episode is going to be delivered in two parts. Today, episode 11, and then episode 12 when we're up at the Parish Cafe. Today, mostly I'm going to focus on type 47 and 48 liquor licenses, and I'll talk about what that is. And I want to make two announcements because they're timely. The first announcement is if you're looking to purchase, if you would like to operate your restaurant, bar, or cafe with a Type 47 full liquor license in the county of Napa, any of us in California that operate in the restaurant industry, we know that it's lottery season at the ABC. And what that means is if there's going to be a license available in the priority drawing, that's what the ABC calls it, that's when the ABC is issuing original licenses. So you can get very expensive full liquor licenses, 47s and 48s. Rather than paying a lot of money out on the open market, you can get an original license for, $15,800. For the purposes of this today, I'm going to say $16,000. So for $16,000, you enter a lottery and you can win a license. So in Napa, there's none available in Sonoma County this year. There's some available in San Francisco. They're based on census tract. It's not just in general in San Francisco. It's independent census tracts. There's some available. You look at the website. Holly's posting the link to the ABC website. There are a lot available. Los Angeles has 25. Stanislaus County has some. Nevada County has some. Napa County has 15. That's a lot. 15 licenses available. Normally, if you were going to buy one on the open market, it would cost you about $450,000, so you can get it for about $16,000. So what you need to know with those licenses, well, actually, I'm going to give you a teaser. At the end of the episode, I'm going to tell you 3 important things about these licenses, so you got to watch all the way through or fast forward once it's posted. But one thing that I will say is you do need to have the entity formed to apply. It's super easy. You have to have your application in by Friday. You pay that $16,000, and you need to have the entity. You don't have to have the location. The ABC will give you 90 days. If you win, if your name is pulled in the lottery and you win that license, you have to have 90 days to secure a location with which to operate. But I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the entity with which you're going to take that license, meaning an LLC or an S Corp or a sole proprietor, you already have to have that to apply, to fill out that application and submit it on Friday, because once you have it, there'll be restrictions about transferring that license to a different ownership. Even if that ownership is within your sphere, like you went from a sole proprietor to 100% shareholder of an S corp, it's still considered an entity transfer and it may not be allowed. But there's 3 really important things I'm going to tell you at the end of the episode. I don't usually do that, but I'm going to throw out a couple teasers. There's one more thing I want to say about liquor licenses, and I published this in my Deep Dish Delivered newsletter. So I have a couple things that support Deep Dish Live. One is a blog. So if you're really resonating with the content that I create, but watching it on YouTube or watching it on Facebook when it's published isn't convenient, you can read it on a blog, and the blog exists on my website. Also on YouTube we have subtitles. So let's say you're at work and you don't want anybody to know that you're watching the series, you can read it on YouTube. But I published it this information on the Deep Dish Live newsletter, and if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, just shoot me an email or some communication through one of my social media outlets, and I'll make sure that you get it. Is that the Governor Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, in his COVID-19 relief package, included in that is liquor license annual renewal fee waiver. You can waive your renewal fee for your Type 41, I'll talk about what these are, your Type 41, your Type 47, your Type 48, your liquor license. You can waive the fee for that up until February 2023. Hi! We're doing a live feed. Thank you. It's always fun. You can, the only thing you have to be in good standing, and Holly's going to post that link as well, but that's huge. You know, it's not a ton of money, but it's a couple $1,000s for, depending on what license you have, so you can get your annual fees waived. So those 2 things I wanted to say out of the gate. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll launch into the episode today. So I'm a real estate broker. In the state of California, you have to sell restaurants, you have to hold a real estate license. So and I actually have my broker's license. I operate all over the state of California. I'm exclusively a restaurant broker, restaurant, bars, cafes. You know, I'll go into, maybe convenience stores, things like that, but food related businesses is what I deal with, and the reason why is it's where my passion lies. I have had a long and varied restaurant career. I started in my late 20s as a dishwasher. I worked my way up the line. I ended up being an expediter at a well-loved restaurant in San Francisco, Green's Restaurant. I went on to be the personal chef to the actor Don Johnson and his family. That's my kind of claim to fame. 2 claims to fame. I was also the executive chef at Amy's Kitchen, which many of you, we love Amy's Kitchen. It's an internationally distributed organic vegetarian food manufacturer. That's how I got to Sonoma County, where I ended up owning and operating my own restaurant. I went back to school. I got an MBA, and I started teaching at the Culinary Academy of America at Greystone in Napa County. That's, like I said, where I met Patrick. And for the past 7 or 8 years, I've been a restaurant broker. I'm super passionate about what I do. It's why I started this series. That I hold a lot of information that could be very valuable to my friends and colleagues who are, working away behind the line. Owning a restaurant is very demanding, and having access to this information I think is important. So welcome to Deep Dish Live. It's a labor of love. So when I was thinking about this episode, liquor licenses, what's the deal? What I was thinking in specific is, what is the deal? If you look online, liquor license prices vary greatly. They vary from county to county. Sometimes, where do you even find a license? What's the difference between an original license and the transfer of a license? What's the deal with the priority drawing, which I talked about earlier? There's so much to it. So this is what I want to say. I'm gonna talk about nomenclature. So when I'm talking to my clients who have a Type 41 beer and wine license, and I refer to it as their liquor license, they always correct me. They always say, "Rin, I don't have a liquor license. I have a beer and wine license." So out here in the world, and culturally, when we say liquor license, we think full liquor. We think spirits, distilled spirits. But with the ABC, the Department of Alcohol and Beverage Control, for them, a liquor license is a catch-all phrase for any alcohol sale, any alcohol production. Alcohol, liquor equals alcohol. So liquor with the ABC means beer and wine, full spirits, distilled spirits, whatever. So usually what I say is liquor is a catch-all phrase, full liquor is that distilled spirits. So as a restaurant broker, I have my hands on all kinds of licenses. A 41, like I said, a 47, a 48, a 58, a 75, some of these licenses require the transfer of federal permits, some of them only state permits, but regardless, if you're working in the realm of securing an original license or purchasing a license in the open market or getting a restaurant that has a license tied to it, you really do want to work with someone who is versed in liquor license brokerage, because there's a lot to know and a little mistake can be costly. Mostly time-wise, it's costly. Okay, so let me catch up here. So let's see, I want to talk about, let's see. So those liquor license, let's talk about the list prices and why they vary. When you buy when you're looking for a why do people want a liquor license, a full liquor license to begin with? So a 47 liquor license is a license that a restaurant has where they serve distilled spirits. And what the difference between a 47 and a 48 liquor license is a bar, a nightclub, a lounge. So a 47 is issued to a premise that's a bona fide eating place. That's an ABC term, and what that means is 51% or more of the gross sales are dedicated to food sales in those. So they're more predominantly a restaurant that offers cocktails for sale. With a Type 48 license, no one under 21 can come in. They might, the bar or nightclub might offer limited food service or no food service. That's a Type 48 license. Type 40, most restaurant owners really love and want Type 47 licenses. Why? Kind of obvious, I think everybody knows this. The profit margin on full liquor is high. For not putting out very much effort, well, now it's a lot more because we have mixologists and muddled drinks, and it's, mixology has taken the cocktail to a whole nother level. So there is more labor involved, but for the most part, the profit margins for selling cocktails in restaurants is very attractive. The barrier to selling full alcohol in restaurants is you can only get these licenses on the open market, and in some cases they're super expensive. So in Sonoma County right now, a full liquor license on the open market is about $185,000. In Alameda County, which is the East San Francisco East Bay, you can probably get one for $50,000. In Napa County, wait for it, $400,000, maybe $450,000, which I think is one of the reasons why they're, and so they're tied to, these licenses are tied to population. So Napa County, for those of you who've been to Napa County, not huge, densely populated, but a lot of, it's wine country. Sonoma County and Napa County are wine country, so we have tons of tourists coming through to enjoy our wine and food. So we have tons of highly acclaimed restaurants, lots of tourists, not a lot of population, a lot of demand for full liquor licenses. So like I said, super sensitive to supply and demand. So much so that when COVID first started, there were a few licenses that came for sale because some operators were like, I'm out, I'm done. I'm gonna sell my liquor license and get out. So when a handful of licenses came on the market, for the first time ever, I'd never seen licenses go down. They went down a little bit, $5,000, $10,000, but they popped right back up because as soon as those licenses sold, more buyers came knocking for those licenses, and there weren't any. So I would imagine that, will the licenses prices go down in Napa County as a result of issuing 15 more licenses? Maybe. Don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to talk more about purchasing liquor licenses and how you purchase them in just a minute, but I want to take a break. Let me see. Holly's at home. Sometimes she texts me if somebody's asked me a question online that I should know about. For those of you just joining me, my name is Ren Longmaid. I'm a restaurant broker and consultant at Santa Rosa Business and Commercial. I'm the founder and host of this series, Deep Dish Live, that explores the business of restaurants for restaurant buyers and sellers, restaurant tours, and the restaurant curious. That's probably most of you guys out there. The restaurant curious. The series airs once monthly, and we live stream from one of your beloved San Francisco Bay Area restaurants. Today I'm at Más Masa. If you'd like the opportunity to win a $100 gift card from our host restaurant today, all you have to do is like and post a comment on this episode. You can do it now while I'm live streaming, while Ed and I are live streaming, or you can do it anytime between now and our next episode, which will be Thursday, not Wednesday. Typically we stream on Wednesday. Thursday, October 21st, where Ed and I will be coming to you live from the Parish Cafe up in Healdsburg in Sonoma County. And then at the end of the series today, I'm going to be announcing the winner to the Downtown Bakery and Creamery, which is where we streamed live last month on the Healdsburg Plaza. I'll be announcing that winner at the end of the episode today. So let me launch back in. Let's say you want to buy a Type 47 or a Type 48 liquor license, and you plug it in. Buy a liquor license in San Luis Obispo County. What's going to happen first? Page after page, you're going to have a ton of search results, because there are a lot of liquor license brokers that sell liquor licenses for a living. And what will pop up is Type 47, San Luis Obispo County, and a price. If you jump on their website, if you find one listed on Biz Buy Sell or Craigslist or something, you're going to notice something. If you see one listed for me for sale, it's going to be a higher price than a liquor license broker, and even though the price to you, the buyer, will be the exact same. So this is what happens. As you know, because I've talked about this through multiple episodes, this one included, to be a restaurant broker, to sell restaurants in the state of California, I have to hold a real estate license. For me, if I were to take a license, if I were to sell that I'm advertising a license for sale, I actually have to have that license listed. Liquor license brokers, they're going to advertise listings for sale. They might not actually have a listing at hand, but when that buyer contacts them, like San Luis Obispo County, Type 47, that liquor license broker is going to get busy finding a license for that interested buyer. And that information, here's a brief aside, and all of my colleagues, all of you out there who have a Type 47 or Type 48 license, you already know this, because you get bugged all the time. You get phone calls, you get letters in the mail, you get emails for solicitations to sell your license, don't you? You get a lot of them. It's public information. When you have a liquor license, whether it's a Type 41 beer and wine license or a full liquor license, all that information is public information. So liquor license brokers, and if you have that license and your license is in some sort of distress, like you owe one of the taxing agency money, that hold will also show up publicly on your license. So people will be reaching out to you directly to see if you might want to sell that license. But for me, I have a real estate license. If I am advertising a listing for sale, a liquor license for sale, I have that listing. And my commission has to be advertised in that list price. For a liquor license broker, okay, pay attention here because it's super confusing. I think it's meant to be. I'm going to take a drink of water because it's that important. If you see a Type 47 license for sale in Sonoma County right now, I'll have it listed for about $185,000. You might see another one listed by a liquor license broker for $170,000. I can guarantee you're still going to be paying about $185,000. Liquor license brokers post those licenses for sale at the amount net to seller. Okay? What does that even mean? That means the money that the seller is going to make. That's what the liquor license broker advertises the license for sale. So their fee, they don't get a commission, they get a fee. Their fee is not included in the price of that license, even though you're going to be paying it. And it's substantial, it could be 10% of the sales price. So what I encourage you to do, if you're out there looking for licenses and you call a liquor license broker, say, how much am I actually paying for this license? And just buckle in, because you're going to get a long explanation, because they're going to loop in all kinds of information. Well, you've got to pay this fee, the ABC, and this, this license fee, and you've got to do your fingerprints. I'm not concerned about that. Just tell me your fee and the amount to the seller. How much is that going to cost? And I can guarantee you those two prices will come into alignment. What I have mine listed for, or any of my colleagues in Santa Rosa Business and Commercial have liquor licenses listed for, and those liquor license brokers. Another very important thing to hold in mind when you're working with a liquor license broker, they once you're in contract to buy that liquor license, that broker collects their fee up front. So if for some reason you get into escrow and that liquor license does not transfer, the liquor license broker is done. They've collected their fee, they're gone. The buyer, typically the buyer, it's the buyer that pays the broker. In my case, it's generally the seller that pays the agent, the real estate agent. They're gone, and that liquor license is still for sale, and that broker's been paid. Another thing to consider when whether you're getting an original license or you're purchasing a license to transfer on the open market, is that you're going to want to work with a liquor license consultant. Liquor license broker sells them. Liquor license consultant helps you get through the application process. Now, those of us at Santa Rosa Business and Commercial, we're all liquor license consultants. All of us are very well versed on the liquor license application process, whether it's an original license or a transfer. And if you buy a license from any of us in the office, we will help you with that application as a function of our commission. There's no add-on price. With a liquor license broker, they're going to send you to an outside consultant, and that consultant's going to probably charge you about $2,500 to download the forms from the ABC and to tell you to fill them out. And they'll do other things. They are valuable, because there are things that are super important to know about that application. One checkbox that's done incorrectly, or you don't get all the addresses. If you're putting an original license, you have to send out a mailing. Sometimes those mailings can be huge. They can be to 100 people, 200 people, 300 people if you're operating next to an apartment building. If you're operating next to a church, you might not even be able to get a license. There's a lot of things that preferred ABC consultants know, so it is worth it. But if you're working with somebody out of Santa Rosa Business and Commercial, you're not going to be paying us additional fees and expenses to help you get through that process. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up for today, and I'll talk more about liquor licenses next month. But I'm now going to tell you my 3 teasers about the priority drawing. 3 things. The priority drawing is this time of year, right around September and October. In the state of California, the Department of Alcohol and Beverage Control, if there are original full liquor licenses and other licenses as well, but for our purposes, a Type 47 full liquor license, if they are available to get an original, they go into a lottery. Priority drawing means lottery, and it's very easy to apply. It's a 1-page document that you submit by Friday is the deadline for the 2021 lottery. 3 things. 1, you have to be a California resident to apply. You have to have been a California resident for 90 days. 2, and all of you should have been thinking this, like, why don't I just buy that liquor license for $16,000 and turn around and sell it, like Rin said, for $400,000 or $450,000? There is not. Where am I going to get that kind of return on investment? I'll tell you. So it used to be like last year, if you were to win a priority drawing, you would not be able to sell that license for 2 years on the open market. You had to hold on to it. That's what I was talking about. You couldn't transfer the entity. I was talking about that earlier in the episode. So last year it was 2 years. This year, forever. Whoever wins this original license, one of these 15 licenses, that original license holder can never sell that license for more than what they paid for it. That's $16,000. So that's going to be a bit of a blow to a lot of people who kind of work the system. To those of you who are just really looking for a license, maybe that's not so important, but in my job as a restaurant broker, if you have a full liquor license, that's a very attractive, expensive asset. But for those few 15 holders in the 2020 drawing, it's only going to, the value, well, inherently the value will be more, but you will only ever be able to sell it for $15,000, $16,000. It will basically transfer with your restaurant. And the third thing, for some reason I'm forgetting, but I do remember that there were three things. Let me refer to it. Oh, this is important. I'm glad I looked. Let's say that you apply on Friday. You submit that one-page application and your $15,000. If your entity, if your S Corp or your LLC is in arrears with any of the state taxing agencies, those agencies can put a demand in on your application fee. So let's say you owe the CDTFA, the California Department of Taxes and Fee Administration. That's your retail sales tax. Let's say you owe them money, or the Franchise Tax Board, you owe them money. They can come in and put a demand on the $16,000 you submitted to the application. So you might not win that Type 47 license, but those agencies can come in, take the money from that, take the money due to them out of that application fee, and what, if any, you get refunded will be the balance. That's important to know. Okay, I think we're done. Let me just see if Holly had any questions off of Facebook. She doesn't usually. Usually the questions come later. Again, if you want to support me in my Deep Dish live series, jump on YouTube and subscribe to my new YouTube channel. That would be, I would greatly appreciate that. Again, this is my Facebook Live Deep Dish. We're at Más Masa, and now Ed and I are going to head inside and we're going to talk to Patrick. He's going to, with one of his employees, they're going to cook a fresh tortilla. They mill the corn here on site. Ed, I'm going to let you inside first. Oh, I'm going to grab my, you guys go ahead, I'm going to grab my face mask.
Is it tortilla time?
It is tortilla time.
All right.
She's just grabbing her mask.
Can I introduce Florencia? So this is Florencia. She's worked here, gosh, since 2017. She's one of our most crucial and best employees, and she's going to show us how to make tortillas. We're using a white corn masa today. Usually we use blue, but we'd like to change things up. Hey, Dan. Don't mind that. We're going to film tortilla and make tortillas.
So Patrick, you want to come give us a blow, you want to narrate for us? So tell us what this is called.
It's called a comal, and traditionally, if you were to go to Oaxaca, Mexico, they would have a comal made out of clay. This one's made out of cast iron. And the first thing she does is she'll rub oil on it. That's what you'll see smoking right now.
Is the hood on? You can turn the hood on.
Okay, I'll turn it on.
We turn the exhaust hoods off because they're so loud, but the process is going to generate some smoke, so we're going to turn them back on. So bear with us. And Patrick, as you're coming back over, oh, she got nervous. Tell us, what's the proper name of the corn that you, tell me about the process of the corn milling. Tell me about that.
So the fun word to use is nixtamalization. And that's a very, very old process, and most likely discovered by accident. And the whole history of corn, you could spend hours talking about the history of corn, but long story short, in Central America, in Mexico, the natives somehow turned a wild grass called Z-maize into corn that was larger and more health beneficial than the wild grass Z-maize. And then on top of that, they discovered that when you added something to the water you cooked it in, such as ashes from your fire, that it changed the acidity of the water, and for some reason the corn made them feel more full, gave them more energy. So little did they know that they were doing this scientific process, making the corn more nutrient rich, and it's called nixtamalization. It's kind of what we do, but not exactly the same way they did it 2,000 years ago. So we'll take our raw corn kernels and we'll add pickling lime, and the pickling lime will change the pH, and then we'll boil it for about 5 minutes, and then we let it sit overnight, kind of the same way you would let beans sit overnight to soak up water. And then the next day, we wash it to get rid of that kind of bitter alkaline flavor. And then we have a stone mill, and we grind the corn in a stone mill, and what comes out looks kind of like Play-Doh, and that's corn masa. And with corn masa, you can make bowls, you can make tortillas, you can make sopes.
Corn masa. And that's the tortilla press. So on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this is totally full of tortillas with you?
Yeah, and that's a very large cooler, and there have been multiple times when we fill that cooler up all the way with 2 stacks side by side, and they're gone within an hour and a half.
It's amazing. So I want to thank you for hosting today. Thank you both. I'm going to wrap up this series, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about Más Masa. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to also announce the winner, Fanny Bird. Fanny Bird is the winner of the gift card to the Downtown Bakery and Creamery in Healdsburg. Fanny, I'll reach out to you directly and find out how to get that gift card to you. If you want to win a $100 gift card to the Más Masa, today's host restaurant, like and post a comment on today's episode, either now or until next month when we live feed from Parish Cafe, also in Healdsburg. Again, my name is Rin Longmaid. I'm a restaurant broker and consultant at Santa Rosa Business and Commercial, and the founder and host of Deep Dish Live, the series that explores the business of restaurants for restaurateurs, restaurant buyers and sellers, and the restaurant curious. I'm going to pause for a second. Come this way with me, Ed. So, if you want to learn how to make these amazing tortillas, and you love this Más Masa location and what they're doing here, as I mentioned earlier, Más Masa is for sale. Patrick and his wife are starting their new young family, and as I said, they don't want the restaurant to be part of our family. So reach out to me directly, as the restaurant is for sale. Patrick will train you up on everything you need to know. And until then, if you need to find any information about me, Facebook, my website, my YouTube channel. Ed, thanks so much for your help. Patrick and his staff, they're wonderful hosts. We'll see you next month.